Boys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be breaking down the number one sabotaging mistake that's actually holding down your nutrition and why you're not seeing gains. You think you're so-called eating healthy, but you're still not seeing results. So today I'm going to break it all down for you. High value per second video, like as always, 15 minutes. I'm going to give you everything you need, and I'm going to break it down in 3 key components. Overestimating calories, clean eating versus tracking, and a sustainable approach you could use after this video to literally give you your nutrition guide one-on-one. I'm going to just break it down and give it to you all, guys. So again, welcome back to the channel. So today, guys, let's break down the first point, overestimating calories. This is the number one problem a lot of people seem to get wrong because they think they so-called eat healthy. And guys, yes, you should be eating healthy when you have your benchmarks, when you have your blueprint, when you know exactly what to eat. But if you're only eating healthy and you're just overgoing your calories, essentially, like your maintenance, for example, is 2,000 calories, and you're eating 2,500 to 3,000 calories every single day, yes, guys, you're going to gain weight, and it's too much so-called eating healthy food because you're just not hitting your right targets. Your targets are extremely important. So guys, I'm going to break down the essential overestimating calories, why it's so harmful, and why you need to essentially have benchmarks in your diet to make sure you're actually hitting your goals and eating healthy. 2 for 1 if we like to call it, and you're still eating your favorite foods. I guess 3 for 1 we can call it. Look at that right there. So guys, the first thing we need to make sure is we need to understand our portion sizes. So our portion sizes are really important. If we look at our carbs, proteins, and fat, the proteins and carbs are essentially 4 calories per 1 gram, and our fats are 9 calories per 1 gram. So our fats are 2x, and that's why a lot of people is like the number one thing is they overestimate the calories. Guys, fats is like 2x of everything else. And if you're eating so much of these so-called fats, we're going to break down the healthy and then the crap that you essentially not going to do because you're going to watch this video. I'm going to give it to you right now. But like, guys, the fats are like the number one thing that actually kill you in overestimating portion size because, guys, the calories just add up. But guys, the fats are really detrimental because if you overestimate on the portion sizes, which then you overestimate on the calories, that's how you get in such a surplus. And if you're eating these so-called healthy foods all the time, you're still putting on weight because, guys, you're not having these benchmarks in place. And that's why it's really important to understand just the foundational frameworks of just calories for your core 3 macros. That's what makes up our essential diet. And if we talk about that, and of course, our maintenance calories are broken down to those core 3, as I just mentioned. But guys, in looking at how your meals are structured, essentially, you should always have a high protein meal. Your high protein meal is extremely important because, guys, the 3 byproducts essentially of having a high protein meal, you're going to feel full longer, it's going to be less calories, and essentially going to allow you to build muscle, which, of course, anyone wants to. You want to build muscle. So those are the 3 non-negotiables. But guys, if we're talking about our fats are extremely important to understand our portion sizes because, as I mentioned, if you're not understanding how much a fat is, like what you're eating, so like your olive oil. So we talk about like the proper stuff, the proper fats to essentially eat. Our olive oils are nuts. So we have pistachios, walnuts, cashews, and then dark chocolate. That's healthy fats, but we always have to make sure we know our portion sizes. So a really good, technique that I usually, recommend all my clients use is just a software called MyFitnessPal. It's completely free and it just gives you an estimate how many, your portion sizes in regards to calories, and that can give you a framework to operationalize around. Because, guys, if we look at our olive oil, it's literally like this much, but that's 130 calories. If we compare that to a high volume food, maybe like our fruits and veggies, that's a lot of, fruits and veggies just for that little amount of fat. That's why it's so important to make sure we don't overestimate our calories. When overestimating our calories, overestimate our portion size, and that's why we're actually so-called gaining the weight so fast because we're just not understanding how to go about it. So in regards to, making sure our portion sizes are correct, we're going to use a software called MyFitnessPal. And what you do is it's very simple. You're going to scan, or insert the food you're essentially going to eat. It's going to give you a calorie count and the macros you're going to have for that. And that's going to allow you to get you a benchmark or framework. And what happens when you do this over time is you get to see what correlates with what. Okay, I know a chicken breast is 25 grams of protein, and this is how much I eat. This is hitting me towards my goal. You get to understand benchmarks as you, essentially progress in your journey. Of course, unlocking your dream body, becoming your best self, and to really, work on stuff that betters you every single day. But if you're not doing this, if you're not relying on these benchmarks through repetition, because, guys, it's annoying, it's going to be frustrating, it's going to be annoying. You're like, damn, like this sucks. But you have to pay your arrogant tax once, and that is to understand how to do it. And once you gain the skill set, you can essentially remove it down the line, and because it's essentially becomes a part of your identity. So really important just to hammer down the fats, because, guys, I think that's the most detrimental part. And then if we talk about the other core macros, our proteins and our carbs, guys, your proteins is going to really allow you to feel full longer. As I mentioned, you should of course have good protein sources that are high, quality foods. Don't eat chicken nuggets, Taco Bell, Burger King. That's not high quality quality food. Yes, you're hitting your protein intake, but it has so much other crap in it that the micronutrients just doesn't give you, the best way to really optimize your energy and all that good stuff. So really resort to protein sources that actually allow you to hit your goals and feel good at the same time. Chicken breast, ground beef, steak, eggs, egg whites, this list goes on and on. I can name 50, different, protein sources, but use stuff that you actually enjoy, that's sustainable, because guys, sustainability is really important, because once you get sustainable diets, then that allows you to essentially like what you do, and you know what to eat every single day because you know your portion size. So your portion size are that much important. So always make sure you have a high protein meal. Your high protein meal is going to allow you to make sure you're not going to get those cheat meals. You're not going to be eating other crap outside your diet. Protein is so important because, guys, as I mentioned earlier, it does those three things for you. You're not going to allow you to essentially overeat, eat anything outside your diet, and essentially going to make you feel full longer. Plus, it really solves most of the other stuff we just mentioned below, because guys, protein is the building blocks of building muscle, and the essential building blocks of building muscle allows you to feel full longer, which essentially kind of throws everything else out the window. And then we break down our carbs. So as we mentioned, we just broke down our proteins and our fats. Our fats, we have to make sure it's 2x the calories of our proteins and carbs, and that's why our fats are so important, because guys, if you have to understand, how much, this little thing of olive oil is actually a lot of calories, that could equal maybe a chicken breast or even a lot more, depending on how much of the quantity you use. So really make sure you use MyFitnessPal just for anything to understand your portion size. It's really going to allow you to understand how much you can eat, what framework, and that's why you're so-called eating healthy and still gaining the weight, is because you're just eating way too much. So there's proteins and there's our fats, and then our carbs are really important as well, guys. So carbs are also a huge detrimental to essentially overestimating calories, because guys, a lot of people resort to standard carbs, which are pretzels, white bread, candies, sodas, stuff like this. That's just it's not essential for you. It's not giving you the micronutrients you need. So that's why I want to switch to your carbs, to your complex carbs, and I'm going to explain how this kind of ties into your portion size and why there's so many calories. Is because, guys, when you resort to complex carb for carbs, so maybe you're doing quinoa, whole wheat bread, sweet potatoes, stuff like this, that's actually healthy. It literally allows you to feel full longer, because the reason you're actually feel full longer is higher in fibers, higher in micronutrients, and it essentially gives you the ability to have longer sustained energy. And this is how it's essentially going to tie into your overestimation of calories, because guys, when you eat crap, when you eat low quality food that doesn't essentially give you the nutrients you need, you're going to eat more of it, and that's why you're essentially going over calories, because you're just eating more and more and more, and essentially you're not feeling full, so you just have to kind of replenish your hunger. But if you do a complex carbs, it's higher in fiber, it makes you feel full longer, and some are actually less calories, so it kind of answers that question right there. That's why if we resort to better quality foods and so-called eat healthy, that's why it's going to give us the exact thing we want, because guys, our proteins and our carbs, as I mentioned, are the essential 4 calories per 1 gram, and our fats are 9 calories per 1 gram. So that's why it's extremely important just to use a tracking software, just to essentially give you the skill sets and information in the beginning. You have to do it the rest of your life, guys. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying just get the skill sets down now, and that gives you the ability to kind of use it as we progress and as we build. So guys, the moral of the story is essentially use a tracking software, understand how much quantity of calories and macros in each food, and then adjust it as you go. Still eat your favorite foods, don't eat crap, but eat your favorite foods, but just know your portion sizes, as our fats are always 2x, and then our carbs, we have to make sure we resort to the right carbs, which are complex carbs. So quinoa, as I mentioned, sweet potatoes, white rice is a good option, stuff like this that literally gives you higher fiber, so you're going to feel full longer. It's going to be, of course, you're going to get the micronutrients of it, and you're going to get more sustained energy, so you can optimize your best and be your best self throughout the day. And this kind of ties into our next point, clean eating versus tracking. So guys, clean eating versus tracking, we literally just broke this down, but I just want to give you a couple other frameworks that you build on this point. Is, guys, clean eating is great, but you need to, of course, make sure you're tracking. Tracking is so important. As I mentioned on the previous point, MyFitnessPal is the most important thing, because if you're not tracking your food, you're essentially just eating too much of the quantities you don't need, and your body's just essentially going to use it as excess calories. Excess calories turns to excess fat. Excess fat kind of, breaks the point of why you're eating healthy. Of course, it's going to feel better, but you're not going to get the body you want. It's just going to be counterintuitive to, your mental state and all this different stuff, the way you feel, the way you look. So in regards to eating healthy, you have to make sure you align certain benchmarks. And the way you're going to do this is understand your maintenance calories. And your maintenance calories is very simple and very easy to do. I'm going to just break it down right now. In order to understand your maintenance calories, you're going to essentially weigh yourself for 3 to 5 days. This is very simple and very easy. It's not that much work. Just please do this. It's just going to put you ahead so many more, instead of taking, 2 steps forward and 3 steps back. You're going to just take 2 steps forward and forget the 3 steps back. So what you're going to do is weigh yourself for 5 days. And then what you're going to do for those 5 days, you're going to have 2 data points. Your weight for those 5 days, see if it goes up or down. And you're going to track all your foods and put it into MyFitnessPal, as I mentioned earlier. That's why everything kind of flows, level by level, or you want it like a staircase essentially. And you're going to see what you're eating in a day. And those calories are essentially going to correlate to your body weight. over each day, you're going to see if your weight increases or decreases and see if you have to increase or decrease your calories. And that's going to give you a maintenance level. And once you get your maintenance levels, that's essentially going to help you understand what you have to eat in a day to correlate to your portion size. Because if you know how much you eat, then you know what your portion size should be so you don't go over your calorie count. This is going to tie into, of course, your macros, because your macros make up your calorie count. As I touched on earlier, you have your proteins, your fats, and your carbs. And I broke down each one, of different sources, of course, and why they're so important. But essentially, guys, you need to make sure what macros are hitting towards your goal. If you're going to do a body recomp, you're going to stay at maintenance, you're going to shred fat, you're going to build muscle. I've created multiple videos of these, just make sure you check out the channel. But the most important thing in regards to this, guys, is to make sure you have your goal in regards to your portion sizes and where you want to go. You can't just have random portion sizes, because then, again, guys, it's just going to lead to maybe excess fat. You're going to lose some muscle if you're not eating enough. So you have to have a goal in mind and then tailor your portion sizes to your tracking. Your tracking is going to allow you to stay consistent. Consistent is going to lead to momentum. Momentum is going to lead to confidence. Confidence is going to lead to you crushing your goal. Simple as that. But if you're not having a goal in mind, if you don't know what you're tracking for, then you're essentially just staying behind the 8 ball and you just don't know where you're going. You got to always have a roadmap. You got to know where you're working towards. And that's the most important part, because as soon as you know where you're working as, the more you're going to be able to better understand your portion sizes, why you're tracking certain foods. Is this going to actually hit my goal? Do I need to track this food? And it kind of gives you the back end questions you have to ask yourself to hit these goals and to really, get to where you want to be. So again, guys, it's really important. Just, eating healthy correlates to tracking food correlates to hitting your goal. Hitting your goal builds momentum, confidence, and allows you to rinse and repeat the process. And that's why, of course, guys, tracking is just the moral of the story, because you have to understand or gain the essential information and skill sets for you to essentially, not do it anymore. If you don't want to do it anymore, that's fine. But make sure you understand in your head that you understand a piece of chicken is 20 to 25 grams of protein and eggs around 6 grams of protein. You need to know this stuff. You need to know the quantity, the macros for it, because then you can just do it mentally in your head. You can gain that skill set and it allows you to essentially do it without tracking. But you need to pay your due diligence in the beginning, because if you don't have the information, you're just going to be a lost puppy, and a lost puppy doesn't get you anywhere. So really important. I hope that kind of made that point very clear. Gain the essential skill sets and then buy back your time later, because you essentially paid the arrogant tax, as we mentioned. And guys, in tying it back to sustainable practice, do stuff you actually enjoy and do stuff you actually enjoy eating, because once you do it in sustainable practice towards your lifestyle, once you actually acclimate towards your lifestyle in regards to, of course, the food you eat, because the way we actually, tailor to your lifestyle is just tailoring it by the way you eat, how your day is structured, and does it complement your lifestyle. And when you do it like that, that essentially promotes longevity. And longevity is the most important thing, because if you could do something long-term sustainable, then you're actually going to see life-changing results. Because guys, don't think about it in months, think about it in years. If you can compound something over years, you guys can get life-changing results. Of course, you can see great results in months, but whatever you do, you want to be sustainable. And that's the moral of the story, essentially, is make sure your practices allow you to do something long-term. Of course, tracking your food is a skill set that you're always going to build in the same vertical. So you're always compound that, the information and skill sets you learned right now in regards to tracking. But again, make sure you have a goal you're working towards. You need to have a sustainable approach. And the way it's going to be sustainable is what you're working towards. You're doing a body recomp. Maybe you want to stay at maintenance. Maybe you want to shred fat. Maybe you want to build muscle. Maybe you want to, of course, build a bigger chest. Whatever your goal is, make sure you have that. Tailor that towards your lifestyle and make sure the food you eat kind of give you that ability to enjoy what you do every single day. Wake up and, with a smile and be like, all right, I'm pumped. I get a quick dopamine hit from eating this food, because I know I have those kind of moments when I get a nice steak, whatever it is like that. And that's how you kind of tie everything in, when a lot of people just essentially don't know the nutrition 101, but just overestimating calories. I hope I gave you exactly what you need to break it down. And guys, I try to make these videos high value per second, because guys, the number one life hack essentially is getting in the best shape, feeling good, and essentially gaining the essential information and skill sets. Because once you have these skill sets and once you can go out to eat and still hit your goals, you can still eat your favorite foods and still hit your goals, and you can enjoy what you want anytime you want and still hit your goals. That's a cheat code itself. You gain the skill sets, gain the information, pay your arrogant tax early, and once you do that, you can kind of wipe away the essential stuff that you have to do in the beginning, because you know what to do. So again, guys, thank you for watching another great video on the channel. I hope I answered the question. I hope I gave you the essential stuff that you can use. As always, guys, learning is applying action. If you're not applying it, you're not learning. So make sure you use this stuff and literally take this video and start applying it to your life, because it's only going to help you learn, grow, and increase the feedback loop of what you don't know that doesn't work and what does work, and just build that in the same vertical. So thank you guys, of course, for always showing some love and support to the channel. It means the world to me. If you guys haven't already, make sure you check out my IG over here. I post daily actionable stuff that you can use every day. How have you incorporated this into my lifestyle? Not only achieving my dream physique, but allow me to really enjoy what I do, which is, of course, having a fitness-oriented lifestyle, and how it made me become my best version of myself, and all this good stuff that I want you guys to conquer as well. So please make sure to check it out. And if you haven't already, guys, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit a thumbs up, or smash that like button if you thought this video was helpful. I look forward to seeing you guys on the next video on the channel. Again, I could always appreciate anyone who watches any of my videos, and I hope I just gave you something that you could take and literally better your life after watching this. So that being said, we'll see you guys on the next video of the channel.